barefoot?
Madame Vachet likes her guests to wear both shoes.
Oh, who's Madame Oh, steady up. Careful, girl. Who is this Madame Vachet?
She's going to be your hostess at the dinner we're going to tonight, and she's a very wealthy woman. She's got a big house in Papayete and a fine house across the lagoon. The most talked about man and the biggest thing to hit this island since Gauguin.
Mr. Bassett, something about the brushwork in this little corner worries you?
Yes, it does. You see, my little one, I couldn't detect it on it, but now that I've seen the larger one, I hate to say this, but you may have been the victim of a terrible hoax.
A hoax?
Yes. The brushwork. It just simply isn't Gauguin. The painting you found might well be a forgery.
Adventures in Paradise, brought to you by... James A. Michener's Adventures in Paradise. Starring Gardner McKay as Adam Troy, with James Holden as Clay Baker, George Tobias as Penrose. A touch of genius. Guest stars, Jessie Royce Landis, Cecil Kellaway, John Abbott.
Hey, Skipper, we got company.
Captain Adam Troy.
That's me.
I'm Edward Murdock, my associate, Mr. Philip Anders. We understand that your boat is for hire.
It certainly is, sir.
Good, that's precisely why we're here.
Well, come aboard. Right this way, gentlemen.
Hey. Who are they?
I took them to the back in Papayete. They put in 10,000 American dollars. 我一問個隨子佬話冇愁冇憂，歡歡圓圓，安安樂來探世界又真好。
Yeah, but who are they?
We are art dealers, Captain Troy. The Murdock Gallery, New York City.
I see. We're on a buying trip. Paintings.
Now, don't tell me somebody's convinced you there's still some original Gauguin left in the South Seas.
No, but there is an artist working in one of these islands. Time may prove him to be an even greater painter than Gauguin. We want you to take us to him.
He's on a little island called Faou.
Charlie Bassett?
You know him?
Know him. I know him very well. Now, let me get this straight. You two have come all the way down here from New York to buy paintings by Charlie?
We've already bought several. We have a photograph of one here, Philip.
I still can't believe it. You don't know how many years he's painted down there, lonely and forgotten.
He's not forgotten anymore. From the paintings that have already been shown, experts seem to agree that he's a genius.
Charlie? A genius?
Ah, that's it. Now, a little touch of blue. Ah, missed. Oh, well. Perhaps I'll have better luck with the magenta red. There. Ha. Ah! Don't do that, you'll spoil it. Now all we need to do is sign it. pity to waste it. They tear me apart, calling out in my heart. Calls for you, my chérie. C'est la vie. They come. They really come.
Is that a schooner, Charlie?
No, son. It's a new way of life.
Charlie!
Adam! I recognize the ticket coming along the lagoon. How are you?
Just fine. Brought a couple of passengers. They're very anxious to meet you. Special trip. Gentlemen, I present Mr. Charles Bassett. Philip Anders.
How do you do, sir?
An honor, sir. Edward Murdock.
This is a great privilege, Mr. Bassett.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe that I'm shaking hands with thee, Mr. Edward Murdock.
You're too kind, Mr. Bassett.
Not at all. Adam, do you know who this is? This is the man who discovered the great Gauguin masterpiece just after the war. There it is. Look at it. I cut it out of an old magazine. Isn't it wonderful? And to think that the man who restored it to the world is here. Under my own roof.
It's very honor to another genius, Mr. Bassett, yourself.
You've made a remarkable departure in style from your older, more conventional paintings, Mr. Bassett.
Yes, but I'm afraid they're not worth the price of the canvas today. That's my latest effort. Would you like to have a look at it?
Charming, charming.
All right, you old faker. What have you been up to?
Adam, this isn't some kind of a hoax, is it?
I think if anybody's pulling the hoax, it's you.
No, I'm not. Honest. I'll give you my word of honor. Seriously.
Go on.
Well, it all happened by accident. I have an old friend in New York who runs a little art shop. And for years, I've been sending my paintings hoping they would sell. They didn't.
I remember.
Yes. About 2 years ago, utterly frustrated and bitterly disappointed, I made up my mind to give up serious art and forget it. But for my own amusement, I used to doodle in masses of clay and paint, you know, trying to recreate impressions of mood and movement. One day, in the spirit of fun, I sent a couple of them to my old pal in New York. And to my astonishment, somebody bought them. It's as simple as that.
They're the experts, Charlie. If they call it painting, I guess it is.
I don't know what it is, and I don't care. All I know is it brought me the first little money I had for a long, long time.
Well, I'm very happy for you. Come on, let's go back to them.
You know something, Adam?
What?
I feel young. I feel quite young again.
Come on.
Well, Mr. Bassett, what can one say? This is a remarkable performance.
Thank you.
I hate to intrude financial considerations at this point.
That's quite all right.
I believe we wrote to you to say that we'd pay you for the pictures already received upon our arrival here.
And now there's this one.
Now there's this one. What price would you consider, Mr. Bassett, for each of the paintings? Would $1,000 a painting be all right? Well, that may not seem much, but you see, non-objective painting doesn't fetch the same prices as more conventional types of art.
It's a fair offer.
And we'd like you to paint us 8 more.
Give me a glass of water, please.
Certainly.
Well, Mr. Bassett? What do you say?
You want 8 more, similar to that.
Please.
At $1,000 apiece?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Bassett.
Yes, thank you indeed, Mr. Bassett.
That's Charlie. What's going on here?
They're taking my things to the tiki. You see, I thought with the money from the first sale, I'd like to spend a few days in Tahiti. But now, I can stay there for as long as I like. I can even rent a studio and paint the rest of the pictures there. I spent more years on this island than I care to remember.
But, are you taking everything, even your old canvases?
Why, of course. I should continue to paint on the backs of my old pictures. The canvas is so much better than that which we buy in Papiiti. If that's all right with you, gentlemen.
Oh, perfectly all right, Mr. Bassett. You won't be the first genius to paint on the backs of his old canvases.
Now, gentlemen, if you'll excuse me, I want to go into the village. I've lived with these kind people for almost half my life. I can't very well leave without saying goodbye.
I'll walk along with you, Charlie.
Thank you, Adam.
What utter trash. For this one, there's the touch of genius. I think we pull that off rather well, don't you, Philip?
Penrose is at it again.
Yes, I know. He hasn't got the slightest idea of technique. Hasn't got the arm for it. Oh, no. Careful, my dear, careful. Must I wear these blasted things?
Everybody who's anybody on Tahiti wears shoes.
I know, but why are they so tight?
Charlie, they're the broadest pair we could find on the island.
Can't I go barefoot?
Madame Vachet likes her guests to wear both shoes.
Oh, news, madam. Oh, steady up. careful, girl. Who is this Madame Vachet?
She's going to be your hostess at the dinner we're going to tonight, and she's a very wealthy woman. She's got a big house in Papayete and a fine house across the lagoon. The most talked about man and the biggest thing to hit this island since Gauguin.
And he's dead. And I'm beginning to envy him. Oh!
Come on, get up, walk around. Let's see how you look.
No, don't hurry. Let's take it by degrees. That's better. Oh, unbearable.
Come on.
Oh, it's beyond a joke. This is no idea what they're like. Oh, no, this is impossible. If this is the price of the dinner, I'm not going. Oh, that's better.
Ah, Mr. Bassett.
Good afternoon, Mr. Troy.
Hello.
We've come to bring you the money that we owe you for the first paintings, Mr. Bassett.
And the contract for the remaining 8.
Well, you look after this, Adam.
It's your responsibility, Charlie.
Yeah, I know, but can't you see I'm a sick man? I'm supposed to be an artist, not a banker. Money and I have been strangers for 20 years. We're not even on speaking terms. Go on, you look after it.
Okay, whatever you say. Shall we go outside, gentlemen?
New canvases, I see.
I picked up some things in Papeete. I got these at a ship's chandlery. Not exactly an artist's dream, but at least it's better than working on the backs of old paintings.
And Mr. Bassett has agreed to paint on the new canvas?
Agreed. Of course he has. Why not?
Oh, it makes absolutely no difference to us. Let's get down to this contract, shall we? I think you'll find everything in order.
Sure I will. Just the same, I think I'll take it into a lawyer in Papeete, just a formality.
Naturally, that's the proper thing to do.
Of course.
Thank you.
All done?
Where are your shoes, Charlie?
Oh, on the stove, lines. Oh, Mr. Bassett.
Charlie, I'm taking these papers into a lawyer.
What do we want with a lawyer?
Well, it's the usual thing to do in a business deal.
What Mr. Troy means is that artists like yourself, Mr. Bassett, usually overlook these things.
Thank you. You can't treat a man of Mr. Murdock standing like this, Adam.
Now, calm down, Charlie. Nobody's doing anything out of line.
You're out of line by doubting his integrity. I'm very sorry. Have you a pen?
Yes, certainly.
Thank you.
Aren't you even going to read it?
There you are. Why fight over it?
Well, I think this calls for a celebration. Let's go across to the hotel. I'll buy you all a glass of wine.
Delighted.
Join us, Captain Troy?
No, thanks.
I'm sorry.
Quite sure you won't join us, Adam?
Maybe later, Charlie.
Gentlemen, one moment, please. This is a Penrose original, very cheap.
Childish rubbish.
Keep trying.
Another career gone out the window.
This is a very interesting theory, Adam.
When we get the word from New York, I think we'll find it's more than a theory, Inspector.
Some people are never satisfied, huh? Give them 50% profit, they want 100%. Give them 100%, they want 200. It is a form of sickness, this greed. Unfortunately, it is not precisely illegal.
To swindle a man out of his life's work?
They have paid for the canvas, have they not? Is it against the law to sell the back of a
painting rather than the front?
Oh, I suppose not, but Charlie's put his whole life in his art. He doesn't deserve to be taken.
I used to put him in jail once a week. Charlie Bassett. Ah, yes. I got to know him very well. He was young, slender, very handsome. Genius, he said. And angry about everything. He hated the conventions.
And still does.
No, everything. Government, money, manners. Except one thing, himself. And he drank, Adam. Oh, the fights. The drunken fights in the houses, in the streets, everywhere. Until one day he came to me, a sick man. Tired, hurt, confused. He said he was going away again. And he went. And until you brought him here, he has been living on foul all these years. Maybe he wasn't successful, but he was happy. So you see, Adam, even if Charlie Bassett doesn't appreciate what you are doing for him, I do.
Think you'll hear by tomorrow?
Or maybe tonight. I'll see you at Madame Vachet's.
Good.
Au revoir, mon cher. À tout à l'heure.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Here he comes.
It's Charlie. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Wonderful.
Good evening, Adam.
Madame Vachet, may I present Mr. Charles Bassett?
Madame.
Well, if they hurt you so much, why don't you take them off?
But, Madame, I couldn't be too embarrassed.
Fiddle faddle, a great artist like you tied to convention? Pooh!
Thank you very much, Madame.
I've been interested in the arts for many, many years, Mr. Bassett, and now I've met a great artist.
Thank you, Madame.
May I show you my modest little collection?
Please do.
Adam, would you care to join us?
Thank you.
Perhaps you gentlemen would be interested. Though I assure you there's nothing on my walls fit for the Murdock galleries.
Adam! Can I see you a moment?
Oh, pardon me just a second.
Yes, of course. Well, come along, everyone.
Did you get an answer?
Yes and no. The French consul is aware of the name of Charles Bassett. It's quite true. He has been the talk of art circles in New York this past month.
But for which paintings, the old or the new?
That he's not certain. He says he will have to visit the Murdock gallery to see which are on display. He will have an answer tomorrow. Sorry, Adam, we'll simply have to wait.
Tell me, Mr. Bassett, is it true that Van Gogh cut off his ear and sent it to a lady he loved?
Quite true, Madame. His right ear. He was a man of great feeling.
Well, there can be little doubt about that. Gentlemen, here are some of my ancestors.
They look very distinguished, Madam. Well. That's a reproduction of the Gauguin Mr. Murdock discovered, isn't it? Yes.
Mr. Murdock, you discovered the original? Why, how interesting.
I have one, too, but it's too small to learn from. May I study this for a moment?
Well, of course you may. No home in Papeete would be complete without a Gauguin, even a print. I have several in my beach house.
There's a little corner here that always interests me. I've often wondered how he got the effect. That's odd.
What is?
The brushwork.
Yes, but could we go back to the guests now? After all, you are the celebrity of the evening, not Gauguin.
Yes, of course, but please forgive me.
Madame Vachet, may we be so rude as to keep Mr. Bassett a moment longer? A little business.
Oh, very well. You won't be long.
Mr. Bassett, something about the brushwork in this little corner worries you?
Yes, it does. You see, my little one, I couldn't detect it on it, but now that I've seen the larger one, I hate to say this, but you may have been the victim of a terrible hoax.
A hoax?
Yes. The brushwork. It just simply isn't Gauguin. The painting you found might well be a forgery.
A forgery? What a preposterous idea, Mr. Bassett.
Do you realize what you're saying?
But it was only suggestion.
Suggestions can grow into rumors, Mr. Bassett. Rumors have ruined more than one honest art dealer.
Just a moment, Edward. Mr. Bassett, you see, all over the world, directors of museums and art galleries live in daily fear that, unwittingly, of course, they may have purchased a forgery. Enormous sums of money have been entrusted to their skill. To make one mistake and they're destroyed professionally. You see, rumors can be deadly. You understand what I mean, Mr. Bassett?
Oh, of course I do.
Mr. Bassett. Mr. Bassett.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, do come. Everyone is clamoring for you.
I took him for a fool.
Rather a wise fool, I'm afraid.
If he insists on pursuing this business of the forgery, we're in serious trouble.
No, Edward. He is.
Come, quick.
What is it?
Never mind. I want you to see this.
Charlie!
Is this some of your work?
I must admit it looks like it, but I didn't do it.
Then who did?
Don't look at me. I can paint better than that.
Why, it's obviously the work of kids. They've been looking at me through the studio window. Auto suggestion, that's what it is.
Me, it looks like auto indigestion.
What are you all dolled up about?
Oh. Oh, I just thought I'd tidy myself up a bit. I'm painting Madame's portrait this morning. Ah, there she is now. Excuse me. Good morning, Madame.
Good morning, Mr. Bassett.
Morning. Good morning.
Shall we go in?
Oh, yes, please, do. This way, Madame. This way.
I'm to sit.
Yes, please.
Like this?
Yes, please. With your drapes over your head, so. There. That's charming. And, these flowers, a little color. Thank you. Well, Now to walk. Tilt your head a little bit. That's right.
We pause now for station identification. Adventures in Paradise, brought to you by...
I'm sorry for the delay, Adam, but we have encountered some transmitting difficulties. Oh, here we are. The Murdock gallery has been closed for 2 weeks.
Why? Does he say why?
Maybe they have gone out of business, or maybe they have moved to another city.
Look, this thing is phony by the minute. Tell him to contact every museum director in New York, find out everything he can about Murdock and his partner, Philip Anders.
That's a good idea. If only I could prove something against these men.
Well, you can't, so we'll just have to play it safe until we get some kind of definite word.
But promise you will say nothing about this to Charlie Bassett. It will break his heart.
It's marvelous.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's marvelously ridiculous.
Well, you can call it what you will, but it isn't art. Now, this is art.
Gauguin. Paul Gauguin, your favorite. Strange that you both were discovered by the same man.
Oh, no, Mr. Murdock only discovered one Gauguin, this one. It's odd that it should have been discovered so long after his death. Good heavens!
Mr. Bassett!
There's no doubt about it. There it is. It's all there, right there. It's a brilliant piece of work. But it's not Gauguin. On that, I'll stake my life.
Mr. Bassett, experts have authenticated this painting.
But you don't understand. I've studied him all my life. That's why I came to the islands in the first place.
Mr. Bassett, I know how much this man's work means to you. May I give you my personal assurance that as soon as we get back to New York, I will investigate this matter fully. Now, you can trust me.
Thank you. You can understand how I feel about it. I, all my life, idolized Gauguin, ever since I was a student. And to think that someone could come along and forge his work and get away with it, makes me boil.
Well, you can set your mind at rest, Mr. Bassett. I understand to be a very special announcement made this afternoon at Madame Vachet's. I put all this out of my mind for the moment if I were you. You know, I understand there's going to be a very special surprise for you.
Really? How nice.
Yes, isn't it? Goodbye, Mr. Bassett.
Goodbye.
Philip, what do we do now? He's not going to drop this thing. He's going on prying and prying and prying.
Oh, shut up.
But what do we do now, Philip?
Same thing we did 15 years ago. The painter that brought us this original Gauguin, remember, in London?
Of course I remember.
You said it was perfect, Edward. You said it was the most masterful piece of forgery you'd ever seen. You said nobody in the world would be able to detect the difference.
Nobody did until he came along. All the experts agreed with me.
So we paid $10,000 for that Gauguin.
Sold it for $200,000, may I remind you. We'll wind up behind bars if we discover it. Once Bassett opens his mouth...
He won't open his mouth.
Not ever again. The forger got out of line 15 years ago, you remember that? Decided to open his mouth. After they fished his body out of the Thames, it didn't make much difference, did it?
I want no part of it.
Edward, it's either Bassett or spend the rest of our lives in prison. Take your choice.
All right, Philip. Kill him.
And this gifted man who's lived so long among us without recognition should now be recognized and honored by all of us. And as a small gesture of my appreciation, I hereby donate this house for the Charles Bassett Foundation and Art Gallery. May he make all its walls sing with his beautiful paintings. And to this house, the whole world will come to view his masterpieces. May they multiply 100-fold.
Oh, no. And I have the honor to make a special announcement. Tomorrow, in Mr. Bassett's honor, there will be a festival. Dancing, feasting. The government and the business people will arrange it all together. It's going to be called Charles Bassett Day in Papeete.
Now, everybody, there's punch and a buffet. Please enjoy yourselves. Sorry, thank you. Excuse me, please.
I think this gift of yours, madam, is just the most wonderful thing I've ever heard of. But where would you move to? Where would you live?
Oh, I have a delightful little cottage just across the lagoon. As a matter of fact, I've always wanted to live there. I shall be much happier there than in this great house with all its memories. You must see it. It's so peaceful, right on the water's edge. Sunbathing, swimming.
I'd love to come. Unfortunately, I can't swim, but I'd love to see the cottage, though.
Well, I'd be delighted to show it to you. How about tomorrow morning before the festival? Well, I have a boat with a motor.
Unfortunately, I can't manage a motor.
Well,
why not let me take you? I'm very good with boats, and I'd enjoy the trip myself.
What a delightful idea. Our own boatman, just like Venice. Now, that's very nice of you, Mr. Anders.
Not at all, madame. After all, Mr. Bassett has given the world a new dimension in art. Mr. Murdock and I are both deeply grateful. Let's just say it gives me a chance to repay Mr. Bassett in some small way.
Ready, Charlie? Charlie?
Adam, I've been looking for you.
I've been in town helping with a festival. Have you seen Bassett?
No. The report came back from New York. Your guess was right. Where are you going?
To pay Anders and Murdock a visit.
Follow him.
Mr. Bassett, you've no idea how many times I've sat in this room and longed to do this.
They look very charming, madam.
Dear great Aunt Georgina, very gay, very festive.
And very grim.
I'm afraid even the moustache doesn't help very much. So long ago. So very long ago. For me, time hasn't stood still, my husband. I wonder how time would have treated you. How would your laugh sound now? What would you look like? You know, he always wore a flower, just like you.
I wish it were my right ear.
I prefer the flower. You know, Mr. Bassett, I feel quite young. Quite young again.
Young enough to dance?
In the morning.
Morning is the youth of day, madame.
We've no music.
There's music everywhere. if you care to listen to it.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to answer it. Oh, everyone took the day off for the celebration.
Allow me. Ah, Mr. Anders. Mr. Bassett. Madame Vachet. Well, it's time to go.
What is it?
Read it.
It's a report from the French consul in New York in answer to some questions.
Questions?
About you and Anders. Read it.
That our contract with Mr. Bassett was drawn up by a local attorney. It's perfectly legal and signed.
It's a dirty trick.
Abbott.
You bought these from Bassett for $1,000 apiece. You said they were hard to sell. Well, I wouldn't even interested in these. It's these you're after. These are getting Charlie a big reputation in New York. You've already sold one for $15,000. $15,000, Murdock.
Nevertheless, our contract doesn't call for non-objective paintings. It simply says paintings. We've done nothing illegal. You look as though you'd like to arrest me, Inspector.
I would prefer to break your neck.
Gentlemen, you're getting unnecessarily upset. Perhaps I can do something to sweeten your bitter cup for your little, huh? I admit it, gentlemen. We're hard businessmen, but we're not hard-hearted.
What do you think you're doing?
Writing out a check for Mr. Charles Bassett for an additional $10,000. It's a sort of a bonus, a gift.
Why don't you read the rest of the report?
Oh?
Since you left New York, your gallery has been closed by order of the police commissioner. You are under grand jury investigation, Mr. Murdock, as you will discover when you return. You're bankrupt, your check is worthless.
The inspector's been asked to hold you and your partner for fraud. Now, where is he?
Where is Mr. Anders?
Gentlemen, I'm sure this can be explained.
It's all there in legal language. Now, where is he?
Mr. Murdock, we want answers to our questions.
Where is Anders?
Oh, isn't this lovely?
Yes, it is a lovely day for a boat ride.
But it's such a small boat. You think it will hold all of us?
Of course. It's a perfectly fine-looking little boat.
It's very sturdy. I use it every Sunday to go to the cottage.
That's it. Easy.
Watch a step.
Thank you.
Easy now. Here. I think you'd better sit out a little bit to the side.
So do I.
Oh, careful, Mr. Bassett. We don't want to end up in the water.
You sit in the...
Yes, I will.
Here we go.
Oh, careful.
I can't help it. I can't help it if I'm not in the boat.
La da da dee. Da 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 da. Da da dee, da da. Da 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 da. Da da. late. What's happened?
I don't know.
Oh, dear, we can't be late. The celebration's in Mr. Bassett's honor.
Oh, it'll take just a minute. I'm sure I'll be able to fix this thing in no time.
It's quite all right, my dear.
Careful, Mr. Bassett.
Mr. Bassett, if you don't sit still, I'll never be able to fix it. Sit still, you'll tip the whole boat over.
Oh, quick, quick! Get Mr. Bassett! He can't swim! Help! Help him! Where's Mr. Bassett?
I don't know where he is.
Go down after him! He can't swim! Find him!
I can't find him. Hang on to the boat. I'll go for help.
Hurry! Hurry! Help! Help! Hurry! Mr. Bassett! He's drowned! He went down like this.
May I suggest you come out of the water, Mr. Anders? You might catch your death of cold.
Charlie!
Hello.
Oh, isn't it a wonderful day?
The most wonderful day of my life.
Incidentally, Charlie, I'm sailing to Palu next week to pick up a load of copra. Would you like to sail back there with me?
Yes, I might as well.
Back to the island.
Yes, of course. Unless...
Oh, dear, what a pity. I thought perhaps...
Adam, I've changed my mind. I'm going to stay.
Whatever you say, Charlie.
Adventures in Paradise, brought to you by